Well, a very good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awkward Turkey podcast. Probably not the face you was expecting, but it is a face nonetheless. And I'm here to introduce this wonderful podcast to you tonight, this evening. Let me start that again. Yeah, so this evening we're going to be joined by even Tom Vaughan and Karl Morgan. No quiz today, so unfortunately I won't be saying let's quiz, but I will say roll the titles.
Well, I bet you weren't expecting Sir Adam of Westcott to introduce episode. I don't know what number it is. Do you know what day it is, Carl? No, it's Sunday, 7:00. It's episode. Carl, Adam, how are you both? Adam, we've got you on from the start this week as a little bit of a continuation from what we were talking about last week, which was cruise ships, wasn't it, Carl? We had some good cruise ship stories.
Yeah. Before we start, why have you come dressed as Kurt Cobain?
Me?
Yeah. In your green cardigan.
Interesting story for you about this cardigan. I wore this cardigan in the music video of my cover song Castle on the Hill. And I promised it to somebody. I said, I'll send you this cardigan. I think it was for a birthday or Christmas. And I haven't worn it since. And I saw it today and I thought, well, it looks really warm. I put it on. And hopefully she doesn't watch the show and see the cardigan because I was supposed to send it to her. So I'm sorry. I will get on that.
It looks quite thin. Is it a thin cardigan?
It's, I mean, again, as far as content goes, discussing the weave of my cardigan, it's quite scratchy. It's not.
Where's it from?
Nice.
It looks
Hitchet. Better some Hitchet.
New Look. Do you remember when New Look did men's clothes for a bit?
Nope.
Yeah.
They don't do it anymore, do they? Well, they don't do it in shops. I know that.
It just doesn't quite. It didn't take off. They didn't manage to make that transition.
So yeah, Adam, the reason we've got you on today, continuation from last week, because me and Carl, we were talking about cruise ships, weren't we, Carl?
We were, mate.
Our experiences on cruise ships.
Tom was telling everyone how many times he died on a cruise ship.
On stage,
yeah. Obviously not. He didn't fall offside, drown or anything. Wishful thinking.
But I thought that it was. I really liked shooting that episode and reminiscing on all the stuff that had happened to us when we've been on the cruise ships. And just before we went on today, before we got you on the video call with us, I remembered a story of something that happened to me on a cruise ship that was really embarrassing. And I'm going to save that because I want to hear a couple of Westy cruise ship stories. Carl, you must have some more cruise ship stories up your sleeve.
I haven't got any good cruise ship stories. I gave you my Roger Moore one.
Roger, that was a really good one.
Yeah, what else? I had another good. I went for dinner with one of the Beach Boys. Oh, well, that was it. I just went for dinner on a cruise ship with came to my gig and I, had some food with one of the Beach Boys. Just a normal day, innit?
Westcott, you pretty much, up until COVID, you pretty much lived on cruise ships, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done 10 years on ships and it was divided into two sections. So I did loads of contracts as a resident musician where I lived on there between 4 months and 9 months. And yeah, brilliant time. So that's like class as a crew member. And then the guest entertainer side, I started in 2014. And brilliant, absolutely amazing. And if I look back at where my show was when I first started compared to where it is now, and what you learn very, very quickly, it's millions of miles away. And I've been really lucky to see some unbelievable places. Like beginning of this year, or beginning of 2020, was Antarctica and South America. Wow. Been to almost every continent going. Just looking at the old scratchy map there. Just been to some absolutely.
Sorry, you're looking at the what? Sorry,
scratchy map.
I just thought he had an itch.
What's a scratch? Oh, you scratch the countries you've been to.
Yeah. Obviously, when you're performing, so the theatre I was in was like 800 people, right? And it's all going really well. And I'm playing this really beautiful classical piece, and this guy gets up this is in the middle of the song, middle of the show, and it's all quiet and it's lovely and playing and thinking this is brilliant. Guy gets up and just starts walking towards me. And you just know, like in the old peripherals, you can see him. He's thinking, he can't be coming down, surely. He just can't be happening. 800 people, it's definitely not coming down to have a look or have a chat. And he just stands in front of me. Some race stage theatre, and he's just like, he says, "Excuse me," and I'm playing, and I'm thinking, this can't be happening. This has never happened in the history of gigs, surely. And he just started talking. What's the name of this piece? I'm like, can you not see? I'm playing this piece. It's just mad.
Were you polite to him?
I just kind of just thought, surely he's going to sit down. And this is one of the first times that he gets entertain a gig. So it's off-putting anyway, but let alone one of your first gigs. Couldn't really believe it. When you finish playing the piece, you just say, well, that was called Memories of the Humbra. And it's like, why did you come up and do that? Yeah. It's not the funniest story in the world, but it is a story.
Did you find him after the show?
To make it funnier, and then we killed him.
And threw him overboard, just kicked his head in.
I finished that story if you had, and then I grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and I chucked him overboard, and he drowned and he was dead forever.
Yeah, it's mad what goes through people's minds sometimes.
I'll give you mine, because mine is.
Go on.
Have I told either of you about the time I shat myself on a ship? So we're on. It doesn't matter what the name of the ship is on this one, but we're on a nice big ship, and we're on there for a week. And I contracted what's the stomach thing that you get?
Norovirus.
The norovirus. And if anybody's been on a cruise ship, you'll know that the norovirus, once a few people get it, it tends to spread the ship quite quickly. And you have to, a bit like now, you have to sort of,
especially quarantine. If you're in and out of passengers' pants, like you.
I was never in and out of any passengers' pants. Crew members, different story. Passengers, no.
Captain Pugwash, I was all over him.
So anyway, I got the norovirus, and it was really, really, but it didn't. I didn't start to feel a little bit ill at one point. It just sort of hit me in the face incredibly hard, very, very quickly, as I was skipping down a set of stairs. I was skipping down a set of stairs on my way back to my cabin, and a few people were at the bottom of the stairs. They'd seen the show, and they were like, "Oh, hi, so from the show." And I'm like, "Hi, how you doing?" Okay, like this. And I turned the corner, that's still in like earshot of them, and I thought, I probably need to do a little fart. So I chanced to fart. I'm in a tight pair of like shorts and a little sort of nautical t-shirt that matched the sort of.
What were you doing on this? Why were you dressed like that?
That's just how I dress. I was in my clothes
in
for
Spain,
wandering around the ship.
Anyway, in a tight pair of shorts and a nautical top. It's just how I dress, mate.
But the thing about it was, I could still see these people, and I went to chance a little fart, and I shat myself in front of the audience, like the people who'd been in the audience. And I was so I went straight back to my cabin. Obviously, I didn't carry on with my.
I just went for dinner.
You went upstairs on Sundays.
And I had a shower, obviously. And then one of the boys from the band rang me and went, "Are you coming for dinner?" And I said, "I can't." And they went, "Why?" And I went, "Well, I've just shat myself in front of people who were at the show last night. I think I've got to stay in my room. I think that's the rules." I still felt okay at the time, a little bit sort of ego bruised. I was like, just shat myself in front of people. And it obviously got worse and worse and worse over the next couple of days. And it was just an awful illness to have. And then we had a show just before we got off. And I don't know if I was well enough to do that show. But between you, me, and the hundreds of people, thousands of people that listen to the show, the same muscles you use to sing are also the muscles that you use to have a poo. And I worked that out on stage during a performance where I was wearing a kilt. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, shat myself in front of the audience in the show as well. But what's been brilliant is no one's heard that up until now. So keep it under your hat.
Oh my God, that's mad. So what ship was that on then? Because when I was on with you, didn't one of the boys have a bit of a bad?
Little Paul had the norovirus, yeah, when we were on
Star.
That one with you. But this was different, and it was just me this time. Just me this time.
No.
There's something very, very. It's a vulnerable feeling pooing yourself in front of 3,500 people.
Yeah,
but liberating at the same time. One must try it at one point in one's career.
God,
that's ticked off the list.
I've had a couple where I been eating food and people go, can you have a picture of my daughter? And I'm like, yeah, great, no sweat. It's like, oh, she's out on the deck by the pool. I was like,
I know.
Now?
Yeah,
now? And they're like, if you can, that'd be great. And then by the time you leave and come back, someone's taking your food away. I've had a couple like that.
How I started speaking to you, Tom, was, do you remember we were up in the buffet? I don't know what time it was, but
I remember what your opening line to me was, because anyone who doesn't know the band that I'm in will know that they all sleep until ridiculous o'clock. They'll all go, oh yeah, get up in the morning, we'll get off the ship, we'll have an explore. And they don't. They get up at 1 p.m. It's just what they do. And I was up at 8. I'd been to the gym and I was eating some porridge. And you walked past me, looked at my bowl of porridge and went, what you got there? and I went, just eating on my own at a table. I went, porridge? And you went, oh yeah, it's good, that is. And then you just sat at my table. And I think made your way through several oranges one by one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
And then I sort of went, do you want to come to my room and play Mario Kart with me in the band? And you were like, I would love to do that. So that's what we did.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that all cruise. Yeah, that was it.
Did you take a computer on the ship with you, Tom?
I took my Nintendo Switch on the ship.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know whether you can't really work the tellies on the ships to do anything other than play what's on the tellies on the ships. So last week I told you about my favorite stateroom attendant, Chocolate.
Yeah.
Just said to Chocolate, I was like, here, Chocolate, can you make my Nintendo Switch work on the telly? And Chocolate was like, si, senor Vaughan. Si, I stripped to the waist. I was like, no, Chocolate, put your shirt back on. I just need to play some Nintendo Switch.
The only reason I walked past you, because I was sat on the other side and I was sat on my own. I looked over at you and I thought, okay, he's got a guest entertainer, surely.
What made you think that?
You obviously looked like this. Visual gag. Sorry, Spotify. You obviously look like this. Because that's how all guest entertainers look.
Yeah, well, when they're eating. I don't know. I just thought, mate, I thought guest entertainer. So I'm sat on the other side and I don't know what time it was. It wasn't very busy, was it? It was about 8:30.
It was early, yeah.
And some guy was several seats down there, and he was like tucking into his sausages and just making one hell of a noise. And I'm just like, it's just irritating me. So I had to get up and walk away. And
do you not like people eating loudly?
No, not at all. And when I came next to you, I was like, yeah, is that porridge? As an opening line, and then I sat opposite you, and then I joined you, and as I sat down, I mumbled under my breath, "That guy's just eating so loudly, I can't believe it." And I thought, I wonder if this guy wants to hear that, wants to hear my moans in the morning.
And then what we did, Carl, was me and Adam mutually bonded over a love of porridge and oranges, and then we went back over to the gentleman who was eating loudly, and killed him, threw him overboard, dead.
Good on you.
Yeah, kicked his head.
You're quite aggressive on ships, Adam. Quite aggressive on ships.
We told two stories.
The guy who plays flamenco guitar, you've killed a lot of people.
He has killed a lot.
And got away with it.
I feel like we should say that Adam Westcott hasn't killed anyone.
I don't think we should. No? I don't think we should say that. I think if people don't understand that joke, then they are no longer welcome here.
I just fear that when he goes back to work, people are going to stand up at the front of the show and assume that
it's him. It's him. Watch you back. Watch you back. He's killed. He's killed
the killer of the 7 seas.
Yeah.
Tell us that story of you in Emmerdale, because your first thing, because you said you had a line. You said you was a waiter, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So you went over to them and you're like, and what you're meant to do is just literally take down what they have, and then as you walk away, did you mutter, "Oh, that'd be some lemonade and some eggs"? And then
No. I had a scripted line. I was 17. I had a scripted line in it, and I remember the scene. I remember being very nervous. And it was 2 guys were on a date, and one of them left without paying, and I had to come over with my pad and go, but you know, this is the bill. Are you going to pay that? Because he's left. That was the gist of the line. So there was an actual line. But being 17, on my little pad I had when I was writing down the orders, like in the background of all the scenes that I was in before I came in with my one big line, I was just doodling on this pad. And I was just writing like silly things down, and I think I drew a couple of willies, maybe a pair of boobs or something like that. And it was a real awkward moment when one of the cast,
Carl's face.
we were having a coffee, and one of the cast went, "Oh, what's everyone ordered?" And I just went, thinking they were on the same level as me at 17. I just went, "Oh, tits," like that, and showed them the pad, and they didn't laugh. They didn't laugh at all at my crudely drawn pair of boobs. It's a wonder I ever went back on that show.
And then did you say?
I don't think you did.
I did. I went back on as stop it. I did go back.
I don't think you ever went back to Emmerdale.
I think
it was you were on there for that once, and then they sacked you off. They were like, "Don't employ him again." And his notepad. Tell him and his notepad off.
Even better one for you. Have you ever been to an audition where they've asked you to be able to do something that you can't do, and you've said yes just to get the job?
No.
I can't act, but like I say that in general. I say that if someone says to me, "Can you do it?" and I can't, I say yeah, and then just do it,
and then work out how to do it afterwards. Yeah, so that you don't know. So I went back and auditioned a few years ago. I think I would have been about 26, 27. It was like a recurring police officer called
in the
PC.
Bill.
No, in Emmerdale, called PC Aldred, and I did the audition, and they went, "Oh, this is brilliant." And they went, "Are you available next week?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they went, "Okay. Well, listen,
I like how they went, "Well, this is brilliant. You are the best, Tom."
They did. You are the best. And they went,
"Is this man available?"
Yeah.
"Are you available next week?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I am." And they went, "God, this will be the best police officer we've ever had in the show." And then they just went, "And one more thing, can you drive a car?" I went, "Yeah." They were like this. Anyway, at this point, I hadn't passed my driving test. Got to the set of the Emmerdale village or wherever it was in Leeds, and they brought an actual police car that they'd borrowed off the police for me to drive onto the set for my scene.
God.
So I drove a police car before I'd passed my driving test, and it was snowing so hard.
How was it on set? Like when you were there, like when you're 17 and it's all new, and you know, did you go into with just like an excitement, or was you?
No, it was.
nervous,
It was over so quickly, because
A metaphor for Tom's acting career.
Brilliant. Keep them coming. No, it's just, if you've ever worked on a soap, it's very different to anything else. It's just they have to make so many episodes of it so quickly that you think you're doing a rehearsal, and then when that rehearsal finishes, you're on the train home, and you're like, "Oh, that was it. That was the take." It's so quick, and you just have to know your lines, hit your marks, and do it very quickly, because they've got to keep doing it. So didn't really have a chance to get excited about it, because I went in, I was like, "Oh wow, I'm on Emmerdale," and then it was, "Oh wow, I'm at home."
Yeah, so quickly. Yeah, well, I've only done one bit of TV. That was the ITV All Star Mr. and Mrs. And
you went on with your partner, didn't you? What's your partner
Maud. You and Maud have been on a TV show.
Who is Maud? Are you talking about Maureen driving school?
No, Maud, your missus that you met on the ship.
The girl you met on Saga.
Yeah.
Oh God, here we go. Right. Yeah, I went on there with Maud. So that TV.
We got you.
That I was really honestly, like, for the first, when you sorry.
Maud's a lucky girl.
Yeah, so we went up there for ITV. So it's on YouTube, by the way. If I can just plug that, just go to my YouTube channel. And we were told to do 3 little short sketches, about 5-10 seconds each. And I remember like doing it during the whole day. It was really good, practicing, met the dancer. And when you go down to do it, suddenly there's that kind of like reality shift, like it's happening now. Live audience, all the camera, all the crew, and you're there standing, but kind of like backstage. I just forgot everything I was going to do. I was like, you know what? I have no idea what I'm going to do now. I've created these 3 little sketches. I forgot everything. I have no idea what's going on. This is going to be a disaster. But then as soon as you're on, and it's kind of like the same thing when you're on stage, isn't it? You know, you're just there and it just kind of snaps into place. And as you can see by YouTube, it is really good.
I'll put a link up for people who want to go and watch you on All-Star Mr. and Mrs.
All-Star Mr. and Mrs.
But yeah, for Wayne Sleep and his husband or boyfriend, whatever he is. Yeah, so we did a little skit for some of the questions, me and this dancer.
So she danced flamenco and you played while they asked certain questions in the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really good.
It makes sense
really
to me now.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Oh yeah, I was on the one.
Is that, have you done, that's the only telly you did for ITV?
For ITV, yeah. And I did something in America, did like a morning TV show back in 2015, which is good. But yeah, for ITV. Oh no, I tell you who did call me. Strictly Come Dancing called me, but I was on a ship.
No.
Actually, let me elaborate the story. They called me on the Monday saying, can you come for next Saturday? But we'll let you know by Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, it's brilliant. So obviously I'm excited. Like, my God, Strictly Come Dancing. It's going to be good. Wednesday comes, nothing. Thursday comes, nothing. Thursday comes, I'm thinking they've just forgotten. Literally Saturday morning at 12 o'clock, bearing in mind where I live, geographically, I can't just get up to London in 5 minutes. They said, yeah, can you be at the studio in half an hour? I'm like, well, no, I live miles away. Like, you were meant to tell me on Wednesday. And then I missed that spot, but it was literally only for 10 seconds and it involved a lot of dancing. And I'm glad I didn't do it because I can't dance. I've been really uncomfortable. So
there was one, I've just remembered it. It was probably 5 years ago, but are either of you familiar with the TV show Take Me Out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not like it.
Love that.
Boo,
boo, boo, boo, boo, boo. Have you been on that, Tom?
I've been on it.
Have you?
Yep.
Wait, dang, the hang a banger now.
Yeah, tell more.
I want to watch it before. Is it on YouTube?
It's not on YouTube.
Ah, devastating.
Not on YouTube. Right. So there's two reality shows. One was an almost. They asked me to do Come Dine With Me?
Yeah.
And it was the one where they'd got like soap stars and things like that on, and they said, would you do Come Dine With Me? And I said, yeah, sure. And we got so far down the line of talking about doing it, and then it quickly stopped when they said for my entertainment, they thought it would be a good idea if my garage door flew open and loads of dry ice came out and I was singing Robbie Williams to
that would have been brilliant
dinner guests. I said, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
So that got stunted. But Take Me Out, Take Me Out. I wasn't the contestant. Danny in the band was the contestant.
What?
Yeah. And here's the brilliance of it. He had his now wife, was his girlfriend at the time. And she was in the hotel while he was on the show. So he just went on because he thought it would be brilliant publicity. And we got roped into it with the Take That experience. And it was a really, really peculiar experience.
Wait, I think I've seen it. Did you guys sing?
Yeah.
Did he got into the band?
So he came down in the lift. He did the first load of questions.
Yeah. And then he stands with the band.
Then he goes,
like when they do the show off bit of what you can do.
Special skill. And we came down the stairs. I've
seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, holy sugar. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Why was Danny on there though? Can we go back to that bit? Why was he on there?
On a stage in general, or
no.
Doing magic.
Why was he on Take Me Out when he's got a girlfriend? He said.
What happens with Danny is Danny goes out in London quite a lot, and he was out in London. And if you know Danny, you know that anyone who is a television researcher or producer will look at Danny and go and have a wet dream because the guy is just on the whole time. So I think he was in a bar in London, stood on the bar performing magic or breathing fire or something like that, and they just went, wow, we need to get you on TV.
Tom, tell Adam what he told one guy.
I know where you're going with it. I know where you're going with it. So
tell him it's genius. The reason Danny gets so much TV exposure is because he's a fucking genius.
That's a genius with stuff like this. So we did a gig. I can't remember where it was, and it wasn't a gig, sorry. Again, he was in a bar and he bumped into a researcher for Channel 4. And he was like, I'm in this band. It's, it's great. It's brilliant. You should make a documentary. And the guy was like, okay, well, come down and have a chat with us at Channel 4. So Danny comes to work that weekend. He's like, I've got Channel 4. They're interested in making a documentary about the band. And I think Nick said to me, or somebody else in the band said to me, don't let him go and have this meeting on his own. Go with him, because we need to know what we're signing up for if we do it. So I went to London, met up with Danny. I think we had 2 or 3 lagers. And then we strolled up to wherever the Channel 4 meeting room was that we were having this thing. And we sort of went in and we said hello to the execs. We shook hands. We sat down. No more than 20 seconds had elapsed. They hadn't asked a question. And Danny Hall stood up and shouted, you give me 10 grand, 2 flights to Prague, and I'll give you a TV show.
Oh my God.
Bear in mind, there's 5 people in the band.
There's 5 people in the band, and 10 grand ain't going to go very far.
Prague, 10,000, 2 tickets. Like, yeah.
we were
guy's
in
a
there.
Genius.
We were in there from the moment that we went in, signed the book, sat down, had the chat and left. We were back out within 8 minutes. 8 minutes.
The guy's a genius.
Yeah. You give me 10 grand, 2 flights to Prague, and I'll give you a TV show.
I'd like to, in his mind.
I'd like to see.
Was it a TV show?
I'd love to see what that TV show was.
He's kind of like Ron Burgundy, isn't he?
Yes.
Ron Burgundy, yeah. Which do you prefer, by the way, the first or second film?
The first.
Yeah, first is it for me.
Yeah, first. I didn't laugh as hard at anything as I did at the first, and I it was never going to stand up to the first. The second, was it?
My first ever dog was called Baxter.
After the film.
Right.
After the film, yeah. So where's the best place you've ever played a gig, Ad?
The best gig I've ever played was Royal Albert Hall.
And tell us all about what the gig was and how you did it.
Okay, so the Albert Hall.
And if there's a newspaper article to go with it, we should probably see that as well.
Yeah. Did Maud appear at any point?
It's in my drawer. Do you want me to get it out?
Yeah. And
what are we talking about now, Ad?
Hey. I say it's in the drawer. It's just not too far away. It's just there.
Of course it is.
It's ready to be branded.
I mean, bear in mind, you showed us the same thing about a month ago.
You asked
and
for
it's
it.
still not been put away. Brilliant.
It's in the bin. You meant to throw that away for
Inside the
ages.
paper bin.
So that gig came about. Oh God, I was cleaning caravans, and I was.
Whoa. What? Back up. You were what?
I had day jobs for years and years.
Okay.
Cleaning caravans, building sites, working in little convenience stores, building sites. So this was 2008.
I'd love it if you got. This was 2019.
When was that? When did Tony win £310,000?
On a £2 bet.
This came out May the 6th, 2009. So 2009. I think it was end of April actually. Anyway, so yeah, I was cleaning caravans, and I got and then I was working in a clothes store, and I get this text from lots of people saying, "Congratulations, brilliant." I'm like, "What? I don't know what's going on here." Anyway, so I get a phone call saying we've got an Albert Hall gig in 3 days' time. You're supporting Kenny G. So up we went. My mate lived in London. It was me and my mate. It was in a duo, and it was absolutely. It was just amazing. It was amazing. Mum and Dad came up, and a few friends and family and that, and kind of been in there because we'd just been playing in pubs and bars, and people not really listening. Suddenly, you've got the Albert Hall, 5,250 people, and it was unreal. Just the sound check and everything, the excitement, and then I remember having nerves so hard that I just felt sick. About an hour and a half to go, you're thinking, "This is happening." Like I never wanted to. You're never going to back out, but like you are locked in now. This is it.
I know what you mean. That feeling of being on a roller coaster that's on its way up, and you're like, even if I wanted to, can't get off now.
Can't. And I'm thinking, and you become like shaky and quite just so nervous. And
do
then
you get nervous naturally as a performer? Do you have that?
I have really
bad nerves. No, yeah. As a person, I mean, anyone's gonna do a.
You see me going to Asda.
Oh God, I've got to go to Tesco. Fucking hell.
No, I think okay. So like if I'm doing 5 shows on a ship, the first one, the nerves just kind of focus you, don't they? They center you. So, you're going through, you're going in, and you've got to land it all. And once you've done your first one, the rest become more enjoyable. But the first one I do is always, say, not nerves, but like, your heart's going a bit because you're going in as a solo act. You feel you feel a bit more pressure.
5 shows on a ship. You want to have a word with your agent?
That's if I'm on for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's it. Like Pino and Cunard do like classical concerts. This is what I do. So you do 4 to 5 a cruise.
So
Albert Hall is God. Do you know what I remember? So it was like 5 minutes ago, and then you're thinking, "This is it. Like this is happening," and then the nerves just start to change to excitement.
Into
get the knock
energy.
on the door. Yeah, get that knock on the door, and like it's like, here we go.
And it's
like,
Kenny.
wow.
We don't need you, Adam. On your way. Imagine if you got to that. Yeah, no.
I just decided I'm going to play the full album. So thanks for coming up, boys. I'm going to need those tickets back as well. So if you could let your mum and dad know.
Yeah.
We'll let them out the back door.
Yeah. So you're walking around, and suddenly you're kind of in the wings, and it just turns to excitement, like major excitement. And you just go out there, and it's like, wow, here we go. And it was, once you're on stage, it just felt really easy and natural. And enjoyed ourselves, really enjoyed ourselves. Yeah, it was an amazing night.
Imagine that experience, but imagine then yourself on stage.
Yeah, I can't be good.
Nah.
So did it like trickle down your leg or something?
Nah, mate. I've learned that you have to wear a couple of pairs of pants if you're in a kilt, because hands go up there, and it was just one of those where it was contained within the underwear.
Yeah, sort of like a nappy in a way, but yeah,
it's kind of like an
very much like
nappy.
a nappy, in fact, Adam.
An adult nappy with a little tiger on the front. Yeah,
and I mean, it's funny what you think the audience see and what they don't see, because no one would have seen that. Obviously, you know it.
I mean, I've told them all now, but yeah,
because
I remember when he was on that ship.
He did look a bit white, didn't he?
That Robbie Williams stunk.
Yeah,
I played a show once where I couldn't understand after. So the drummer counted us in, and he was like 1, 2, 3, 4, gung, 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 gung. So we're all in. It's like, and I could hear like boom, 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 boom. I was like, someone left the PA, like music through the PA.
Yeah, like the front of house
while I'm on stage, kind of thing. Yeah, like they've left the music as people like the pre-show music. Have they left it playing? And I'm singing, and it's really kind of putting me off. And I realized halfway through the song that the keyboard player had pressed the demo button on the keyboard. Amazing. Yes, it was just going, like bum 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 bum.
As musicians, have you ever at any point in your life, not in a live gig environment, but have you ever pressed the demo button on a piano and tried to convince your friends that it's you playing it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I have. We used to, the first keyboard I had when I was growing up, I think it was my mum's, had a demo button, and it played probably one of the most complex classical pieces of music. And I used to have people around my house charge him £1.
Just stand way back.
Yeah, just stand back. Yeah. And then here's me playing some Beethoven. And they were like, everyone used to say to my mum, he's really advanced for his age, isn't he?
How's he done that?
7.
How was he doing?
How the bloody hell is he doing it? That sort of fell apart quite quickly. As soon as one person realised, spread like wildfire.
What flamenco guitarists or music got you into playing the flamenco guitar?
Well, the guy that's the best in the world, didn't he invite you to his house and train you? Isn't that?
Yeah, he did. So
why are we talking about me shitting on a cruise ship and not about
when you've got these stories up your armour?
So the music I heard when I was in this hotel on holiday, I was about 19. It was just amazing, the techniques and all that, just explosive. So I came back home and had just lessons and just loved all the music. There wasn't a particular artist. I just wanted to learn it all. But then fast forward to 2009, I heard Manitas de Plata, and he was discovered by Picasso. sold 93 million albums, and just like was just rock star
So
flamenco.
the guy was discovered by Picasso.
Yeah,
And he
Picasso
sold
called him a genius. Yeah, in 1963, and he said
Did he chop his ear off?
No, that's Van Gogh, and I was going to make that joke. I was going to make that joke. If you watch,
that's the only bit. That's my brain was like, "Come on, make the joke, get it in."
I stopped. I'll send when I'm editing this. I'll send you the point that it goes through my head, and you'll see me go, "No, don't do that," and then you say it anyway. Sorry, Adam.
Sorry, Ad.
That's right. He didn't cut his ear off, but he called him a genius, and then obviously that style he just took off then. And then I what happened? I thought to myself, it was 2012. I just finished a 4-month contract on Celebrity. I thought, you know what, I want to go down and thank this man. So thanks for the music and try and meet him. And I went online and started phoning up random bars where he used to live. He's a gypsy, so he didn't go stray too far. And I think on the third phone call, I got his favorite bar, left my name and number, and then they passed it on to him and he called me. And then I'll send you a photo of us together. But it was
I'll stick it up on the screen now.
It was amazing. It was just, I hoped for just like 15 minutes of his time, bit of a chat, if I can play some music, and it just turned into one day after the other. And he just totally changed my philosophy of music. It was just amazing. And he was on TV. He was just so famous, and to be sat next to him and to hear him play that music, and to understand that it's just his personality. It was, flamenco's, all music is expressive, but flamenco is there's a huge amount of depth to it, and to hear him play that music next to me was just like, wow, this is something else. And then I had a 9-month contract on Celebrity. And I then had that time to kind of realign and practice techniques and change a few bits and just learn to be me playing it.
Because people don't realize this, but you practice for like a couple of hours every day, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of things that I would do for 2 hours a day. And then I don't come up with play the guitar. That would
ride his bike, Ad. That's what
I do ride my bike for. Yeah, there you go. I do ride my bike for 2 hours. I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to.
I was going to do that too, but I thought you'd cut it out. So what's the point?
I did leave. I
get what you mean, though.
No joking.
When the guitar is there, it's one of those things that you just pick up. It's a weird thing, isn't it? If the guitar is in the room, you will naturally gravitate and pick it up.
Yeah. Do you know what? And you probably want to leave this out the podcast, but I have not played or practiced for a long time. This lockdown has just killed all of my creative juices to play.
It's hard, man. It's hard. And I think we can leave this in. I think we can talk about it, because I think it's a genuine thing as well. And that's a lot of that comes down to. But you've probably thought it, Carl. It's like, I've gone, I'll write this song, or I'll do this particular thing, and you just go, what's the point? I don't know when I'm going to need to do it again. And you get into that mindset of you've had a year off. You're so used to being at home now.
The only thing that's hit for me is that I was kind of every day anyway, I forced myself to go and write. So it's not changed the work ethic of my life. Lockdown. It's just the creativity, as you say, kind of gets sapped from you because you think you don't really know where to go with it. You haven't got anything to say. You haven't got anything new. You haven't got any inspiration. You haven't been to places to kind of be inspired or meet people that have told you a story that you think, I'll put that in a song. That'll be great because that relates to people. It related to me. I'll say it to someone else. It'll relate to someone else. So that's the thing that I found the most difficult about.
Yeah, but mate, making the podcast, writing a song, performing a gig, and anything like that, we haven't had any new experiences for the best part of 12 months. So you've got nothing to draw on. Like me and Carl had a chat like an hour before the show, and I was like, we need to be able to be in the same room pretty soon, because just for it to open up something else that's like even creative conversation or anything. So I don't think you need to feel bad for not having played it for a little while. I think finding motivation at the moment, tail end of this year, when it's grey, cold, pissing wet rain outside, and you've not done anything or earned any money for a year. How hard is that to then go, do you know what, I'm gonna practice it? mate, it's a really, really. I guarantee lots and lots of other musicians, performers, actors are feeling exactly the same.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got some other really good guitar friends, and they said the same. Just so musicians and artists, I think, have definitely felt waves of that. I mean, if you look at my calendar now, I'm meant to be going off on a ship next week.
Take the calendar down for now. That's what I did.
Take it down. Yeah,
just get rid of it, because I don't want to wake up every morning and look at what I should have been doing.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm just for this purpose of this podcast, I looked over and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to be going. I've just kind of forgot about it, actually. I've just forgot all about all that.
Do you need a new calendar?
Yeah, I could do with a new calendar, actually.
Oh, I but jest.
Send me one. Send me one.
Yeah. Boys, how good would it be if for February's episodes, the three of us could shoot a podcast or a couple of podcasts all in the same room? Imagine if we could go to the pub, speak to the landlord at a pub and just say, in the day when you close, can we just sit in the pub and the three of us shoot the breeze?
I was going to ask, Ad, when you go to the pub, what's your little tipple? Because Tom likes a glass of champagne, he said once, didn't he?
Tom also likes a pint of Foster's, but for some reason, Carl heard champagne said once and has gravitated to it.
I love a glass of champagne.
I do love a glass of champagne. And on Christmas Day, I will have
Not just Christmas Day. Yeah.
So, Carl, I think he's going to ask you what drink I like.
Yeah, what's your favourite tipple, Ad?
I like local beers and IPAs. Really into them. And I also like gin and tonic.
I've got a good Adam Westcott gin and tonic story for you if you want it, Carl.
I do, but I also want to, just before you tell me it, I want to tell Ad that Swansea does an amazing gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe if we can get in the same room, we should go to the distillery that does it.
Oh,
let us do a podcast from the distillery.
Yeah.
That's
That'd be brilliant.
Idea.
And we could try the gin while we're talking.
What I'll do, Ad, is I'll book me and you a travel lodge.
There you go, boys.
We share a bed, can't we? Be fine. I'll book us a travel lodge in Swansea.
Look how happy his little face is. Look at his little face.
We'll go and try some gins at the distillery. We'll shoot some podcasts. Probably not be able to use any of the material. Yeah.
And leave you two have a nice night in the travel lodge.
Notice I said I'd book us a travel lodge and Carl didn't go, no, it's all right. You can come and stay at mine.
Yeah, off.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen. But my Adam Westcott gin and tonic story is really good.
Hit me with that rhythm.
I'm looking forward to this. What is this?
Well, Adam Westcott came to my my house to have some photographs taken on a couple of occasions.
Where's this going?
No. Some photographs for his social media and his albums and things like that.
For his bromance album
artwork, yeah, bromance, available in all stores. He came to my house and I said, I think I said I'd got no food in or something, and my mum said, before you take your pictures, come over. She said, and I'll cook you and Adam something to eat. And then
I've been over twice. Ad never cooked me a meal.
Do you know why he hasn't had a meal? Because the podcast finishes. We finished the last episode, and I go, all right, yeah, everything okay, Carl? He's in the car on the way home. There's no conversation. It's bye-bye.
I do have to drive 3 hours, and we have talked for all of 8 hours?
Yeah, we talked for a long time. So anyway, my mum says, I'll cook you some dinner. I'm like, brilliant, okay. So we went round, we had some dinner, and I think I went to take a phone call or something like that. And I came back into the lounge 20 minutes later, and my mum has made Adam Westcott some of the gin that she brews or distills herself. Adam Westcott, by this point, is 3 sheets to the wind drunk. I can get back to take some pictures. And I sent him 1,000 pictures, and he's like, yeah, I look hammered in every single one. His eyes are like one's twist, one's
shout.
Dick. Yeah.
I've got them on here. I've got 3 of them. I know what you're saying now.
Let's have a look, Ad. Put one up so we can just see it. Go on.
Yeah, it's fine. Let me
send it to me, Ad. Send it to me, and I'll stick it up on the screen.
Okay, here we go. Okay, right. I'll send it to you just for Carl to see.
Come on.
You can't see that. It's a bit of a reflection.
Look at that. Perfect.
No, look at my eye.
Oh, yes, mate. Who's he fucking looking at?
No, there you go.
He's staring into my soul.
Yeah, that's the one we'll use in the podcast.
Should have said a prayer, Ad.
That's him saying, "Oh, do that." No. I think you showed me a Jude Law photo, and he was doing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, try and copy Jude Law.
I think.
And that's your jacket, by the way. That was your jacket.
You're welcome. You are very welcome. Right. Okay. Yeah. It's a unicorn emoji, Adam. Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Awkward Turkey podcast in January. Mr. Adam Westcott will be back with us next week or the week after, whichever way this plays out. You
have a laugh.
He's still looking for pictures of himself to show us.
I am.
Pop the phone down, Adam.
We should thank our patrons.
Tony says goodbye.
Oh my God. How much gin is Adam drunk?
Well, he doesn't need to drink it. He just needs to hear the word.
Yeah. He's steaming, mate. We should say thank you to our patrons before we go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
helping
us make this show possible.
We should say thank you to anybody who has just tuned in. Because
without
if you're them,
new, wow,
we can't do the show. Well, we probably could, but wouldn't be as fun, would it?
Well, it'd be you and me making it, and then
just having a chat with Adam over Skype,
listening to it.
So thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah,
thank you, Ad.
Awesome. Shall we all? Well, me and Carl can. Adam, you might have to mime this, but shall we mic drop and say see everybody next week, Sundays at 7?
All the best.
God bless. If you're on a bike in the night, Adam.
Where? Ta-da.
What?
I keep dropping it on my knob.